We have a bit of a problem.
We had a massive, terrible noise on the highway. I don't know what it was, but it sounded awful.
What is that? Does it belong to the coach?
Yeah.
What do you think it is?
It's like a steering stabilizer or something.
Do you want me to call roadside assistance? Did you notice a difference in the steering when it happened?
No. So, I don't know. Let's go inside. Alright, 2.5 years in, we've had our first significant mechanical breakdown failure while on the road. I'm not 100% sure what it is, but it seems like it's some kind of suspension or steering stabilizer. What a horrific sound when that thing came loose and just was hanging down on the ground and bouncing and clattering, and it's awful. So now I'm just going to debate on whether we call roadside assistance where we are, or if we try and, because we're really close to some high-speed traffic.
We are really getting blown around as traffic goes by.
I'm tempted to try and just secure it with a tie-down just to get it off the ground, and then I can drive it a little further to find a wider place to pull off. Because this is pretty uncomfortable when semis go by. So I think that's the way I'm leaning. So let's turn off the coach. Jesus.
I think we should call roadside assistance and talk it through first to see if they think that's a good idea or not.
Alright, let's do that. Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. Saga.
Where are we?
We're just south of Chandler.
Okay. Sure. I don't think I'm actually going to need a tow. I think I can drive it some distance. Oh, we'll see. But you said you're going to put me in touch with an RV shop, right? So I was originally thinking I was going to try and drive it, but then I took a second look at it because the steering components all seem to be connected to where they're supposed to be. But my sumo springs, this one's straight up and down, so it seems fine. But when I came over to this side, you can see how bent it is. It's really crooked. So it made me feel a little less confident that everything's hunky-dory under here. And so I decided we probably better tow it. And so we'll ask for the tow from roadside. This has ended up being a lot bigger than we originally thought. So we've been on the hold with the roadside for 40 minutes. It's taken a lot longer than I expected, and part of it's because it's on a Saturday afternoon around 5 o'clock, and so all the repair shops are closed, so it's hard to get a hold of other places to know what we're going to do. But left Julie on hold, and I went underneath again and had a second look, and this piece that's broken or it's come loose, I think is more, it's not the steering stabilizer, I think it's some kind of support for the suspension. And because I looked at one side and the sumo spring is fine, and I looked at the other one and the sumo spring is like this, and so to me something's out of whack. So it still steers, but I don't think it's safe to drive, and so we're going to ask them to tow us to some kind of safe location in Phoenix. I don't know if that's going to be a campground or a parking lot or what it's going to be, but we'll just have to wait here for the tow truck. Hopefully they get here before too long. So I guess I'll go unhook the Mini from the coach so that when the tow truck gets here, we just hook up the tow truck to the motorhome, and we'll follow them with the Mini until we figure out where we're going to drop it off. And we're definitely, looks like we're going to stay the night in Phoenix, because tomorrow's Sunday and the repair shops aren't open tomorrow either. So it's definitely changing our plans a little bit, and that's quite the adventure. Our first major mechanical. Yeah, got 46,000 miles on the coach. So not something I would expect a suspension piece to just come loose when you're driving. But at least everyone's safe. We're safe. No major damage to the coach. Just a mechanical thing that I think should be fairly easy to fix. But we'll see. I mean, hopefully there's no major suspension tweaking, or I imagine it might have to be an alignment or something happen. But we'll know once we get it into a shop on Monday. So we're going to be just hanging out in Phoenix in a parking lot, most likely. For the weekend. We have a friend that lives nearby here though, so maybe we'll be able to connect with them. Alright. Unload the car. So, not my favorite place to unload the car while there's semis driving by. But when your suspension breaks, you don't have a lot of choices. But at least we're reasonably safe, thank God. We're in a place that has a wide shoulder so we can pull over. Some roads don't even have a shoulder. Everything's smiling on us to at least be in a place that's safe.
Pretty sunset. Roadside assistance wasn't super helpful. We spent an hour on the phone and ended up giving up and just found out our own solution. Thanks, good Sam. That was pretty annoying. But some guy, Rusty, who is actually a call-out guy for roadside assistance, has just stopped to help us out, and he's had a look at it and says we could just tie it up ourselves and drive it slowly and carefully. So we're going to drive it into the nearest Tiffin dealer, La Mesa in Phoenix. And they'll have a look at it on Monday, but they've got a spot we can park and even got a hookup. So there you go. We did better working it out on our own than we did with roadside assistance. What's the story?
I'm talking to Rusty.
Oh.
Wait a minute.
Hey, Rusty. This is our savior today.
So what we're going to do is we're going to do what I was originally thinking is we're going to tie up that piece of the suspension, and then with Rusty's got a great truck with emergency lights that'll help get more attention, so it'll be a lot safer to be driving on the highway since we'll be way under the speed limit driving. And then we're going to go to an RV dealership and where they can repair it on Monday. We're going to hang out there for the weekend. It's going to be good times. It'll get us off the side of the road so we stop rocking and rolling with all the semis driving by, because it's been a long hour out here on the road. So let's get this thing going and
see you in Mesa.
Yeah. See, we got a really tranquil spot. Palm trees. It's nice. Actually, for being a commercial area, it's not too bad. So as it turned out, it was the track bar, that piece of the suspension that fell down, and all that had happened is a bolt came out that was attaching it. When we talked to the shop, they said that was extremely rare. They'd never seen that happen before, so it's not something you need to be panicking is going to happen to you. But it was just that, and then while we were in the shop, we decided to see what else we might be able to fix because it was on an extended service contract. And we remembered that our jacks had not been coming up really well, so they inspected that, and we got a whole new set of springs to be able to bring up our leveling jacks, and that was still covered by the extended service contract.
And because we ended up being without our coach, we ended up going to a hotel. So our hotel stay was actually covered. We have a daily amount that will cover for meals and hotel expenses. So that was awesome. We ended up having a really nice environment to be able to keep working from and not be as disruptive as working from an RV shop. So now to breakdown number 1, part 2.
So
today we're dropping off the coach for an alignment because when we had the track bar come off, we thought it might potentially cause an issue with the alignment. So dropped off the coach, now we just gotta go figure out someplace to work for the day. I think we're leaning towards going to a hotel lobby or something.
You are on the fastest route. You will arrive at 7:21 a.m.
Took it in there super early, thought we were just gonna go work from a hotel lobby for a few hours. Got a call a little bit later saying, hey, we can't do the alignment because you got a lot bigger issues with your suspensions. We went back to the shop and turns out we had the kingpins had gone bad. And that's another thing. They said, well, they've never seen this happen on such a low mileage unit either. And the kingpin is basically what the wheel rotates on, the little pin that it rotates on. And it had quite a bit of play in it. Okay.
That's what we're trying to get rid of.
All right. Thanks for the visual. It really helps to be able to...
That's why I left it up in the air.
Yeah. So they had to replace that. And that was a pretty expensive repair. And so we were really glad that that was still covered underneath the original claim with the extended service contract. Yeah, the mechanics at both shops said that this is extremely rare. They'd in fact never even seen this happen before. The bolt coming out of the track bar was totally random, and that the suspension on the kingpins, you know,
Way too soon for the miles we had on it.
Yeah, I mean, who knows what could have been, the original owners might have put a lot of miles with too much weight on board and caused some premature failure on that. Really just anybody's guess.
Fortunately, we didn't have to have a tow, but it was really touch and go there for a while whether we're not. We were very glad to be able to avoid a tow. But 2 weeks later, we were faced with that decision again. So that is a whole other video, part 2 of 3 breakdowns in a month. Stay tuned for that one next week. So one highlight of our week was meeting up with a whole bunch of other RVers and a lot of RV Love followers.
Oh my gosh, it was so funny. We thought we might have half a dozen, maybe 10 people. Turned out it was maybe 50 people showed up.
We had a great time with everyone. It was awesome to meet them. And we've got a whole lot more new friends on the road now.
Yeah, a spontaneous highlight to the week.
You have to stay tuned for next week's video, part 2 of 3 breakdowns in a month next week. So until then, we'll catch you next time.